Most people say they're stuck because of the economy. They point to inflation, housing, politics, anything big enough to explain why nothing moves. But that's rarely the real reason. People don't stay stuck because opportunity disappears. They stay stuck because control erodes slowly through small decisions they avoid making, until blaming feels easier than choosing.
This week, I watched Dave Ramsey on the Cruze channel talking about money, fear, and personal responsibility. And before we go any further, this isn't a video about budgeting systems or debt tactics. Money shows up here, yes, finances matter. But this episode isn't really about dollars, it's about control and 5 lessons that explain why most people believe they have less of it than they actually do. Lesson 1. Fear distorts decisions. Most financial mistakes don't come from ignorance. They come from fear dressed up as logic. Fear compresses time. It makes decisions feel urgent when they aren't. Shortcuts begin to feel reasonable, and hesitation starts to look dangerous. Once fear takes the lead, control doesn't vanish all at once. It fades quietly, replaced by reactions instead of deliberate choices. Lesson 2. Inputs matter more than conditions. Dave keeps returning to a point people don't enjoy hearing. Over time, outcomes follow inputs far more often than circumstances. Not immediately and rarely in a straight line, but reliably enough to change lives. Money exposes this faster than most areas. Daily decisions around spending, avoiding, or committing compound long before the economy gets credit or blame. Control isn't about winning every situation. It's about choosing what you do with the one you're in. Lesson 3. Victimhood feels smart until it costs you everything. There's comfort in believing the game is rigged. It explains failure without demanding change and removes pressure while sounding thoughtful. But the price is steep. Victimhood trades long-term control for short-term relief. Once responsibility is outsourced, progress slows, then stops.
Lesson 4. Generational comparisons lead nowhere. Every generation looks backward and sees unfairness. Lower prices, different job markets, simpler paths. What gets ignored is context. Smaller lifestyles, fewer options, and sacrifices rarely mentioned. The only comparison that produces movement is personal. Are your decisions sharper and more disciplined than they were a year ago? Everything else is noise pretending to be insight.
Lesson 5. Control rarely feels comfortable. Taking control doesn't usually look impressive. It may mean reducing your lifestyle while others upgrade. It can mean saying no to things that look good on paper but don't hold up in reality. Sometimes it means walking away from paths that once made sense. You can't control markets or headlines. You can control your next decision, and that's where leverage actually lives. Dave Ramsey didn't build his philosophy from a position of control. He went broke, millions in debt, speculating instead of investing, nearly losing his marriage along the way. The man known for discipline once did the opposite. He's even admitted, with humor, that early on he thought hiring people meant they would simply show up, work hard, and make good decisions on their own. Reality corrected that assumption quickly. The system he teaches today wasn't born from theory. It came from losing control first and deciding never to hand it away again. You don't need perfect conditions to change your life, but you do need ownership. A year from now, you'll either see decisions you stood behind or explanations you've repeated long enough to believe. There isn't a third option. If you want a deeper framework around financial control and responsibility, Dave lays it out clearly in the book, The Total Money Makeover, link below. Subscribe if you're done outsourcing responsibility. Comment below what's one area of your money or your life where you're taking control, for real, not just talking about it.